Welcome, everyone. Got manager Bud Black here. Go ahead and start with Thomas. Go ahead, Thomas.
Buddy, you guys have been winning a lot of close, low-scoring games at pitcher-friendly Coors Field. What is it like for the guys to keep punching and counter-punching and come from behind and win an old-fashioned Coors Field game?
Yeah, you're right, Thomas. I think you've seen that out of our group, that the resiliency in a number of games here has shown up, which is it's a character trait, to the 26 guys on the team. And again, I think the guys know that a ball game is never over. They play, all 54 outs, and if we have to go 10, we'll go 10, and we'll keep battling. But the resiliency, the fight, the counter punching, especially these last two nights, has been evident. So, again, I think it's a character trait of this group of players.
You look at how this team has performed at home, and it's a lot better than on the road. But one guy that seems to right now be carrying his stroke at home and on the road is Raimel Tapia. What is it about him? It looked like today he was intent on going the other way and going with the pitches.
Well, with Tap, he has the bat to ball skill that we talked about, and he's able to use the bat on the ball away from him to drive the ball to left field. We saw that a couple times today. We saw it yesterday with a big drive to left center. And if they throw him something soft inside, he's got the ability to turn on it, which he did today also, and hit the ball into right center. So this guy's a hitter, right? He was a minor league hitter, and now that he's finally got his feet on the ground as a big leaguer, I think the hitting tool is starting to show up. He's right at 300. The on base is 340. He just continues to solidify himself as a guy that's going to collect hits at the top of the order. So, he's doing his part. Again, for us to have a good offense, it's going to take the collective group. But Tap is doing his part to help us win and to help us score runs.
Okay, and just a couple more for me. Today, you were able to bring Blackman off the bench. What is it like to have a day where a lot of you depth guys perform well, put you in position to win, and be able to play that card at the end?
Well, again, with a four-man bench in a National League game, it gets a little dicey, depending on how the game goes. But last night we saw Hampson off the bench with a big triple. Charlie off the bench today with the clutch base hit to win the game. As guys go through this, they know that in a National League game with a four-man bench, they're probably going to get in the game. So when the media asks me a day off for so-and-so, it's not really a day off because they're going to get in the game and they're going to get mentally prepared to pinch hit or double switch like we did with Mac today. It just gives them a little breather at the start of the day and maybe overnight, knowing that they're not going to start the next day. They don't have to start that preparation. But all our guys are ready to help. I mean, that's the thing that, again, the team aspect of the guys, the 12 position players, they know the one way or another, they're probably going to have some sort of impact on the game. It'd be nice to give Chuck a full day off or Mac a full day off. But, when the game unfolds, it's usually not going to happen.
Hey, last one for me on Mac. I know that when you have a little bit of a leg muscle issue that never totally goes away, were you kind of hoping to stay off him a little bit today, although he did in later?
Well, no, Mac's fine, Thomas. He's fine. He's no ill effects from the groin. He's fine.
Thank you.
Go to Patrick next. Go ahead, Pat.
Hey, buddy. Getting back to Raimel for a moment. I know I asked you this probably a couple weeks ago. He's got a mess of doubles lately, and he seems to really use his speed to his advantage lately. When he drives that ball the opposite way, I mean, he's out of the box quickly, rounding first quickly, and taking the second base. Is that something a skill that you think he's developed better over the last, say, season and a half or so?
I think he has that in him, but I know that, since he's here at Coors Field and, the vastness of the outfield, and where at times certain teams play him, when he rips the ball down the third baseline, he's thinking two right out of the box. And, I think he's learned to, cut the bag at first the proper way, to have a good running angle. And he runs hard out of the box thinking two all the way. And, he's done that a number of times over the last, few weeks, especially here at home. But, that's something that comes with, his type of game. And he knows that when he hits the ball down the left field line, there's an opportunity for two. And sometimes it can be a little risky depending on the skill level of the left fielder and the left fielder's throwing arm. But, that again is something we talk about pre-series and all those things. So, but, I love the aggressiveness from him. We've talked about that. There's always a risk reward at times with Tap. But I think that he's always pushing the envelope. I think he's always applying pressure on the defense. And that ultimately is a positive for us. When you apply pressure on the defense, whether it's via the stolen base, how you run the bases, I think the defenders get a little tentative and they get a little edgy, and you might see the bobble, or you might see the hurried throw. All those things come into play. And will you get thrown out every now and then? Yes. But I think the aggressiveness outweighs, those times when you might get thrown out.
And in regard to Kyle Freeland, he's gotten hit pretty hard 2 games in a row now. Simply a matter, we know Kyle has to be, he's not going to overpower guys. He's got to hit his spots. Was that
right
the problem again tonight?
Yeah, I think the Tatis home run was up. The changeup was up out over the plate, and he's done that to a lot of pitchers. It was a really good at bat by Grisham for the opposite field home run. That ball was intended to be a little bit down and away from him. I think it just creeped up enough, and with 2 strikes, he barreled it and hit it, squared it up and hit it oppo. But again, I think the third inning today, I think might have took a little bit out of Kyle as he went into the fourth. It was a hard third inning, a lot of pitches, and here comes the heart of their order again, and he just couldn't quite get the ball to good spots. But for me, I think his stuff is fine. I think his delivery is fine. It's just a matter of just fine tuning that location, and we'll continue to get out after it, and hopefully his next start, I believe it's in Seattle. We'll see a different outcome.
And one more for me, buddy. Did Jon Gray, did he do a bullpen or a sim game or anything today?
No, he's going to throw a side session tomorrow, and if that goes well, we're going to talk about maybe sending him with the Albuquerque team to make one rehab start.
Great, thanks, buddy.
Okay.
Go to Danielle next. Go ahead, Danielle.
Hey, buddy, with Kyle Freeland, do you think he just needs more time to get back into the use of this? Or what do you think he's going to need to do to get back to hitting his spots?
Well, you're right. I think that it's, right now he's in a little bit of a situation where things aren't going his way. And I think the first couple innings, I think we saw, what we can get out of Kyle. The first hit was a ground ball that eluded Fuentes on the dive. Then he got the double play, nice play by Hampson. Then there was a couple soft contacts for outs. In the third inning, Machado, Tatis hit the hanging changeup. That was a bad pitch. But again, he's got to string pitches together, during the course of a game. And there's certain at bats that are critical where he has to, be a pitch maker, and he's very capable. We've seen it before. Right now things aren't going his way, but it can turn, can turn on a dime, and it can turn as quickly as his next start.
And Trevor Story's timing seems to have been better during this series. Do you think he's past that little slump he went to when he came off the IL?
Yeah, Trev's getting a little closer for sure. We've seen some opposite field base hits. That means that he's getting closer to timing up the fastball. I think he's seeing the ball better. It's been reflected in a couple walks. The chase has not been prevalent the last number of games. So I sense he's getting closer to being the real Trevor Story.
Thank you.
Yep.
Last one, we'll go to Dwayne. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Hey, buddy. Tyler Kinley came up with 2 innings of scoreless relief for today to kind of continue a stretch where he's done very well for you out of the bullpen. Could you talk a little bit about his development for you this season?
Yeah, that was sort of an underrated part of the game today was his 2 scoreless innings in the 7th and 8th. Big innings, right? They came back to 7-6 on Cronenworth's home run. So there it is in the 7th and 8th inning in a game that looked like there was a lot of runs going to be scored, and he held them right there with 2 zeros. That was big. That was big for Tyler to get us to Carlos. Very important today. But I think Tyler, we've seen, recent outings, a little bit more consistent strike throwing, a little bit more consistent ahead in the count. You hear me talk every day about some pitching principles. I think that applied today. The ball strike ratio was great. He was on the attack with early count strikes. He was solid. He was good today, and he's very capable of that. So when you talk about a 9-man bullpen and you talk about guys contributing and stringing appearances together, Tyler Kinley is, pulling his weight.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks,
for your
guys.
time, buddy.